Now we examine the ways to remove the gun from the assailant's hand. First, we take the example of gun threat from the front. Michael here redirects the line of fire, attacks the gunman while controlling the weapon, and now he's in a position to disarm. Michael's punching hand comes down and catches the hammer portion of the gun. The wrist on Michael's right hand will pull towards him the hammer of the gun, and his left hand will twist the barrel of the gun. This twisting motion creates a 90-degree angle in relationship to the trigger finger of the assailant's hand. Michael then pulls the gun straight off the finger so as not to create any type of resistance between the gun, the trigger guard, and the assailant's finger. A close-up view of this system of removing the gun from the hand will be shown. The breaking of the hold by twisting the gun, the removal of the gun at a 90-degree angle, the break, the take. We now examine gun threat from behind. In this position, again, the rotational turn of the body creates the defense. Michael is controlling the gun by trapping it against his chest, by completely surrounding it with a bent fist, wrist, straight forearm, and elbow being held in a down position. Michael reaches and catches the gun. Again, from that position, repeat the grabbing. As he goes to the gun, he can pivot, and his pinky is up, his thumb is down. Again, watch how the hand approaches the weapon. To have more leverage, it is better for Michael to catch the gun actually closer towards the end of the barrel. If he catches too deep on the barrel, he will not have as much leverage to remove the gun from the hand. In this gun takeaway position, the gun is taken in two stages. First, the hand and elbow break the gun downward sharply to a 90-degree angle in relation to the trigger finger. At this position, the gun is then raised straight off the finger so as not to cause any resistance. If the head of the gunman is up, Michael can attack with horizontal head strikes with the elbow. If the gunman's head is down, the way it was before, with downward strikes with the elbow. The next exercise deals with gun threat from in front of the arm. In this position, Michael is redirecting the line of fire at the wrist area of the assailant, catching the end of the barrel. In this stage, the defense is made in one swift movement downward, causing pressure on the thumb of the assailant. Notice how Michael uses his weight and leverage on the gun to put all the pressure on the thumb by twisting the gun in its place, and the barrel of the gun goes downward so that pressure is applied to the thumb of the assailant. This twisting action pits the power of Michael's shoulder and turning of the body and the grip of the gun all against the gunman's thumb, which is unable to withstand the pressure. The pressure on the thumb opens the fingers and releases the gun from the gunman's grasp. It is important to note that this is not done with the defender's wrist. Michael is turning in with his entire body weight over the gun, twisting the gun against and down, the barrel down against the thumb that is surrounding the grip of the gun. All this pressure applied to the thumb is too much to withstand the hold on the gun, and the gun is freed from the grasp of the gunman, and we are able to attack and leave the scene. We now examine gun defense from in front of the arm when the gun is held in the right hand in front of the right arm of the defender. The defense is essentially the same as we've seen. Michael steps in, but he's stepping into the live side. Examine the grasp on the gun from this position. Michael is turning the gun one and then two off the finger of the assailant. Because this gun takeaway is not as strong as the others that we've seen because there is no pressure on the thumb of the gunman. When Michael defends from this position, he is twisting sharply to a 90-degree angle and pulling the gun straight off. It is also possible for Michael to issue counterattacks at the time he's making the disarming. This is to ensure a more rapid defense without resistance. We place the concentration somewhere else on the body rather than in the strength of the hand. But yet, on its own, the leverage that's provided is strong enough to easily remove the gun from the hand. Note where Michael's hand is on the barrel of the gun. The leverage is increased the further out on the barrel that Michael places his hand, in this case his left hand. The other hand pulls in as he makes the twisting motion, slightly downward and back off the trigger finger at a 90-degree angle, removing it from the assailant's grasp. In this view, we can see what occurs when we make the defense to the opposite side. Here, the gun is held in the right hand on Michael's right side behind the arm. Michael makes the turning defense, strikes, secures the arm, and now is in a position to disarm. From this position, he's breaking the gun down again against the thumb and then lifting the gun off the trigger finger. Trigger finger is inside the gun. The gun is broken down against the thumb and lifted off the trigger finger. From this position, Michael can counterattack. Note that because of the relative position between the defender and attacker and the control that's afforded in this case, the trapping of the gun, Michael turns to the gun quickly. When he breaks the gun, he's breaking it in a downward motion against the thumb, which opens the fingers of the gunman. Now he lifts the gun off and can strike with his elbow or even the weapon itself, if appropriate, and can remove the gun from the scene. We hope that you've learned from this tape on Krav Maga gun disarming techniques. We'd like you to keep in mind a few things. One, safety and training. Make sure you are using only proper safety training devices. Secondly, remember the tactics that have been discussed during this tape. And also remember that this is a very, very high-level threat. If you feel during a violent or assaultive type of confrontation that cooperation with the assailant will get you through the danger, will help you to survive, then cooperate. Then do what you're ordered to do in order